Okay, where were we? Alright, we have the action in, so in other words, if you push and hold down the down arrow key, then your person should duck. It's action 3. And if, it is action 3, right? Yes, crouch. Okay, then where are we at? If you pull up the key, your action will go back to just standing. Just because I can't think of any other action that you would be doing as soon as you stand up from crouching. So that's why we can just put this one in ourselves. If I try to run it, it shouldn't do anything. Pushing the key, nothing happens, because we don't have it drawn yet. He technically was crouching. I mean, the numbers were changing, the variables behind the scenes were changing, but we didn't see it. So if we go back to draw hero, we need to just add in some more of this. We say if action equals 3, then what is our 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8's the one we're doing. Where we get here? Temp A equals 8. Let's see if that works. I hold to push down, he crouches, I let go, he stands up. I can be running, I can crouch. Yeah, it seems to be working. Later on I figure we'll put in some code so that if maybe an energy shock blast or something is being fired past, like a bullet or arrow or whatever else could be shot at him, maybe if he's ducking, it'll go past him. So that could be your way of avoiding something besides just jumping. So I don't know. I mean, when you've got your own game, you might have some other thing that happens that you have to duck to get around. I don't know. Let's put in jumping. Jumping's going to be one of the hardest ones, to be honest. Maybe we should put in gravity first. We'll put in falling first. Falling's easy. Yeah, because we're going to have the falling part working before we can get jumping working. So let's do falling. We should have probably had it as its own number here. Right. Well, we haven't gotten very far. I'm going to say 3 equals falling. I'm going to change crouch to 4. I'm going to shift everything up by 1. Luckily we caught this. Well, it's good to do things in order so that if you have to add one, you don't have to redo anything because you haven't gotten to them yet. I skipped ahead and did crouch. No big deal. So I'll just change the numbers on the drawing of the draw hero. I have to change the number. So if action is 4, and then I have to change it for the mouse downs. Just the 1. Or the button down. Action's 4. Okay. So if action equals 3, it's going to be a little bit of work with this one. Here we go. Before we draw the hero, we're assuming that we're going to have a couple other action sections in here with him doing things. I am going to get rid of these two. We don't need them. I left them because I wasn't sure yet if we were going to need them. And the form changing, or showing this captions at the top, the coordinates, I'm going to take that out too. So we assume that anything up in here is going to move them around. Like I said before, we first erase them, move them around, we're going to draw them again. But before we draw them again, after they've moved, we're going to find out if he should be falling now, or if he should have landed, if, let's say, he has been falling. So we say if action equals 3 is the new falling, I think. Yeah, I'm not going to go up and check, I'm pretty sure that's it. No, here we go. If action does not equal 2 is jumping, and action does not equal 3, then we're going to assume that while you're jumping, you're probably going to be off the ground, so he shouldn't start falling instantly. So let's see, if he's not jumping and he's not already falling, then we're going to check and see. If the tile A, B minus 1, or plus 1, sorry, this is directly below him, equals 0. Yep, that should be the only. Technically, you should be able to stand on a ladder, I would think. Like at the top of a ladder, it kind of turns it into ground once you're at the top, so it's okay. We're going to handle death pits later, so that's not a problem. So yeah, 0. Where am I at here? If the tile below him equals 0, then action equals 3. I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Our draw hero, I'm going to fill that in real quick. If action equals 3, then temp A equals 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So if he does change to falling, we should at least see it. Let me see if this works. That'd be kind of cool if it was that easy. He won't fall yet, but he'll look like he's falling. There we go. Now, if I can still move him side to side, just because we don't have code in there completely stopping it, but I can only move him a tiny bit at a time. So he does look like he's falling. That worked out pretty good. Let's see here. We should probably put in some code for that. If action equals 3, then it's going to be a big block if. We should say that B2 equals B2 plus 5. I'm assuming you should fall about as fast as we run, at least. I mean, the number worked out good here. The tiles are 40 pixels wide and tall, so at least 5 is a good way of dividing it up. You probably wondered how come I'm using constants here. I'm not using anything for momentum. And you know what? I figure we'll get to that. It's one of those things that you can sort of add in as you go once the time's right. But we just need to get the basic functionality going here. So B2 equals B2 plus 5. We have to do the same kind of thing that we did with the A's. So we say if B2 is greater than 20, then B equals B plus 1. So in other words, if you're halfway... Wait, we shouldn't do this. Maybe we want to do this the old way, like Pac-Man, the way that we had it before we changed it, where you're not actually on that tile until you hit. Yeah, there's a good reason for that too. Look at this. This will hopefully make sense to you guys. I'm gonna not be as detailed with my drawing this time, but if you are here and you're falling and you still register in this tile until you hit halfway, so you are here, and now it thinks that you're on this bottom tile as soon as you're halfway down, you'll stop falling, because let's say here's the actual floor, right? So you're halfway down, you suddenly stop and you're not falling anymore. You'll basically hover. What we want is it not to consider, it wants to consider you on this one until you have actually hit the bottom, and then your B value increments. That way you don't stop falling until you're actually on the ground. So we're going to do this one differently. I'm not even going to delete that. I have no idea why this says I have two things going. No, I'll ignore it. Hopefully it works. So if B2 is equal to 40, then B equals B plus 1 and B2 equals 0. Now I don't need to put any code for going up because you can't fall up. And then, you know what, once you've hit, we should do this. We should do a check just to make sure that you should still be falling. So we say if tile A B plus 1 is not equal to 0, then your action will equal to 1, or you're standing. So in other words, if the ground is not still sky once you've moved down one notch, if you're not supposed to be falling anymore, we got to stop you. So let's just see. I know the timer's going crazy here, but I want to just see if he falls into this pit. Well, he did fall. And notice he stopped because he's not over sky anymore. That's Death Pit. So it worked. It just didn't animate properly. And we also don't have wall collision detection. We're getting there. Let me save the video.